Yeah, so yeah,
And I had not been home, so I did not pick up the shirts, but I have for Kyla.
okay. Roll call. Mr. Clark.
Here.
Mr. Hopkins.
Here.
Mrs. Nixon.
Here.
Mr. Groves.
Here.
Mrs. Powell.
Here.
Mrs. Conley.
Here.
Mr. Hall here, all present and accounted for. Do I need to read the public comment?
Mr. Hall, Mr. Mayor, if I may just briefly, since we didn't have our normal workshop session, I'll proceed on with public comments. I just want to give you guys a short discussion about what I thought this meeting called for. Specifically the mayoral appointments. I did the math in my head and realized that if we waited until the next regular council meeting, we would have a meeting of the planning commission, and that we would be one person short due to the resignation of Sherry Foster. We do have Ms. Hendricks, who has been vetted both by myself and I believe the mayor pro tem. We think she's a smart cookie. She'll do great on the planning commission, and I would ask you to appoint her to that position. Same thing with the Parks and Rec board. Mr. Rick Knapp, who was the city's representative to that board, no longer lives inside the jurisdiction. We have attempted multiple times to get his resignation letter, but he's been unable to do so. So I would ask that you remove him from that board and then appoint in Mr. Alan Razor. Mr. Razor does have a background in the Parks and Rec. He did work for the Parks and Rec board, for the Parks and Rec department for a while. He comes highly recommended by Ms. Gearhart. I've met with him, Ms. Falcon has met with him, and he did attend the last meeting and would like to proceed to be appointed to that board. So I would ask you to appoint him to that board. The Zoning Board of Appeals, Ms. Foster was the representative from the Planning Commission to that board. Of course, since she's no longer with us, I asked the Planning Commission for somebody to step forward to take her position on the ZBA, and Mr. Owens volunteered. I think he does a great job with the Planning Commission. I think he'll be fine on the ZBA, and I'd ask you to appoint him to that board. And then finally, a motion to approve Resolution 2016. It should be 33, not 31, but we'll fix that obviously after its approval, if you approve it. A resolution dedicating a park in the city of Cedar Springs. Similar to the last council session where we had a park dedicated. This will be the 3 properties immediately north of where the new library is going in, where the boardwalk is going to be installed eventually. After my discussions with the CBDT, it's my understanding that after a spring cleanup, that area should be used as a walking park immediately. So considering that was the eventual plan all along, and the fact that we could do it immediately second the snow thaws, I think it's appropriate at this time to dedicate it as a park. And that will help us moving forward with our tax rules and providing a place for the city of Cedar Springs citizens to recreate. And that's all I have for this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to dispense with reading of the public comments. We'll move down to item 4. We have no public hearings.
Mr. Mayor, can I just indicate for the record that the reason you are dispensing with the public hearing and public comments is because there are no members of the public present.
Thank you. We have no one to speak to their council. So moving on to item number 5, adoption of the agenda.
Mayor, make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
With the exception of the change of 2016-33.
Thank you. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on adopting of the agenda? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call. Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Nixon?
Yes.
Mr. Groves?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mrs. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Hall votes yes, motion carries. Moving on to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approval of the consent agenda with the approvals of the minutes for the regular meeting of December 8th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Mrs. Conley?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Groves?
Yes.
Ms. Nixon?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Hall, motion carried. Okay, we have no discussion items. Moving on to action items number 8, the motion to approve the following mayoral appointments. Planning Commission, we accepted Mrs. Sherry Foster's resignation. I would like to appoint Ms. Sarah Hendricks to the Planning Commission. Do we want to do an individual motion on each one, or do we want to just do a blanket?
Whatever the mayor's pleasure is.
I think we'll do a blanket. And then the Parks and Recreation, Mr. Knapp has not turned in his letter. I did discuss it with him at a meeting, and he said he would assured me that it would get in here. If it has not, I would like to remove Mr. Knapp from the board, Recreation Board, and I would like to appoint Mr. Alan Razor to the Parks and Recreation to fill Mr. Knapp's vacancy. And I would also like to appoint Mr. Craig Owens, the Chair of the Planning Commission, as our Zoning Board of Appeals seat that's vacated by Mrs. Foster. That's the will of the council.
I would like to make a motion to approve those appointments as presented. Second.
Is there any discussion on any of this items or the persons we've just named?
Just thank you that they're gotten out.
Yeah, my only thing I'd like to ask about is Mrs. Merlington. Do you know what board she was on?
I've not been contacted by Ms. Merlington, and
She's new.
Oh, did she moved in with her son?
She did move in, okay,
Yeah.
there's another one. She is on an alternate for the tax board, and that's about it.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may speak to that, I'm aware of Ms. Shirley Merlington's absence at a couple of recent meetings. I wasn't prepared to have her removed from the board only because I've had no contact with her. I've received no letter of resignation. And at this point, I'm not immediately concerned because they don't have any meetings coming forward.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to get this done today was because the Planning Commission does have a meeting on the 3rd, which may get canceled, and we'll definitely have a meeting on the 10th.
Yeah.
And council itself does not meet until the 12th.
That was the only board she was on. So any other discussion on these appointments? Hearing none, I will do a roll call. Mr. Gross?
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Hall votes yes. Motion carried. Item B, a motion to approve resolution 20-16-33, a resolution dedicating a park in the city of Cedar Springs. Manager Womack, would you speak to this?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So, I did have a number of discussions about this. I hate to admit I'm a little surprised at myself I didn't do this earlier. But there are 3 parcels immediately north of where the library is being built. They will and had intended to be used as a park in the future. I don't see why they can't be used as a park immediately. I've had discussions with the DPW department about potentially laying down wood chips to form a rudimentary walking path while awaiting the eventual creation of an asphalt or boardwalk path through that area. So it will be a park eventually. Let's do it now.
I have some diagram pictures here, and then in our agenda packet, there's also some photo views of that. This lineal park that we're going to put in there, that hopefully will be successful with our grant, and that will install that. Plus, we put some picnic tables in there and be a nice recreation for the park. What's the will of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2016-33, a resolution dedicating a park in the city of Cedar Springs.
Support. Second. Whichever you prefer.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes,
Mr. Gross?
I believe those of us that have lived here for quite some time, which is most everybody, recognizes the fact that side of the creek will flood. So the statement that it could be ready to be walked on first thing this spring, I don't think we could follow through on that. and believe that it's going to be that case. I'm not sure wood chips is going to be sufficient because it does get very mucky and muddy over on that side. It depends on the spring and the winter we have, how much rain we have, how much snow we have, how fast the thaw is, and all of that sort of stuff.
And how good your boots are.
Right. I don't have a problem with bringing it in as a park, but being available the right way to start using, I'm not sure that we can actually say that because we don't know what's going to happen. It is a flood area.
Mr. Mayor, if I may respond to that?
Yes.
I think that could be said of any park in the city.
That's probably
Morley
true.
Park, North Park, Griggle Park, and the park we just recently dedicated last time. And including right now, I can go out there in my snow boots, as I did with the new walking park we just did last week. So I don't want to get bogged down into the fact that it likely will be flooded. You're absolutely correct about that. But I think it would be beneficial to all involved to have dedicated as a park now, and we'll work on the details of laying the wood chips out later when it dries.
If you walk up through there now, it's dead.
The community building delegate, when the freeze up comes, they're going in there and they're gonna clear all the trees out, and then they're gonna, from what I understand, clean out the muck area there for a fountain. So there's a lot of, this spring, they're gonna move in there to clean that up, so probably define the wet areas much better, and we can move forward.
And furthermore, Mr. Mayor, there is already plans to put a bridge across the creek. Sorry, maybe there aren't, I don't know.
There may be.
There might be.
There's been plans very long, but
Well, we'll see when and then it happens.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, can I ask one question?
Sure.
Just, will that be helpful in addition to giving it this designation of a park and seeking grants?
Yes.
I'm thinking that it might.
Yes.
I mean, that seems like a,
I would imagine it will. I did discuss this with the CBDT, and they're in agreement with this action. It's, I don't want to say primary motivation, but a motivation is also
Sure.
the fact that we are currently being taxed on that property.
sure.
And I believe that this action will help us maybe take that off the tax list.
But it also seems like we're seeking grants for park
does.
property.
It gives us points on the grant system.
DNR likes it.
Yes, that's what I thought.
You get points where it says named as park is considered improvement, public park, or whatever. Any
Mayor?
further? Oh, sir.
Yes. Shortly. I don't know that the CBDT actually laid out the exact path they want to execute in the future there, but to Jerry's idea of the flooding, I know they're trying to keep it up as far to the north as they can, because exactly, it's gonna flood down in the other part, so, and it probably will flood up there too, but I know they're trying to keep it as far away from the flood zone as they can. Am I right there?
Yeah.
Well, and one of the biggest things the CBDT is currently working on is reducing the level of flooding in that area by either increasing the culvert size on the White Pine Trail or using bridges or something to increase the flow through that area so that it does not flood.
They are currently working with the DNR on replacing that culvert to open it up so the flows are much higher to alleviate any flood more.
And, Mr. Mayor, if I may, isn't that also what part of the rain garden was about when they were talking about introducing, remember when they did us that huge video?
That's the wetland restoration.
Right, but doesn't that restoration help prevent flooding
Yes,
from coming
that
out
helps
further
with-
by, like, that marsh aspect of the plants, like, stopping some of it?
A retention.
Yeah, the root structure retention piece of it. I mean, again, I'm not advocating that it wanted to flood, but
Well, that's done at North Park, that'll hold a lot compared to what it is now.
Right. It allows the creek to flood in another spot and not that one. And that's basically the mitigation they have for what.
do you remember that video?
Any other questions? Call for vote. Mrs. Paul.
I helped clean up that area last year, and I think for anybody who doesn't have access to wildlife area, it really is very pretty in there, and flowers and all that stuff, even if it's not improved. It's still a pretty cool place to get away from anybody and everybody.
I shoot pictures.
It's gonna be a nice day. No further discussion, I'll call for the roll. Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon?
Yes.
Mr. Grove?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mrs. Conlon?
Yes.
Mr. Hall, motion carries, yes. Communications. You have nothing in your file. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Department reports.
I guess I'm the only department here other than Madam Clerk. I guess part of why I asked you to come here is because it's before the holidays, so I can wish you all happy holidays, whether it be Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. And I'm very happy with how we've been proceeding along in the city. I think, and I keep saying, I think we're on an upwards trajectory. Things are improving every day. I'm really looking forward to all the things we're doing and the fruition that will eventually come into the city. Also, to invite you all to the January 10th opening of the Biggie Coffee.
10 o'clock?
I believe 10 o'clock is when Mr. Mayor and I will attend. Obviously, if you can't make it, it would just be a good support for the business from anytime you can.
Think I can get it time in the meeting?
And anything that would work for you. Other than that, I'm just happy to see you all. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you in the new year. Or, no, the 27th, I apologize. We'll be back here for a couple days.
Should we go get a longer vacation or something?
Okay, council comments. Mr. Clark?
Yes. Do I have any comments?
Yes.
I do not. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a report?
Sure.
She's all excited.
Continue.
Tomorrow I'll be sending out an updated list of all of the boards for the city. If you could just check your contact information, verify that it's correct phone numbers, correct emails, I would appreciate that. And then you will also have that updated information with the new people we just appointed tonight.
So we have a captive audience here, a full council. What if we have photos taken for our...
Today,
I don't care. I
it's
guess
fascinating.
we got everybody.
I guess my philosophy would be you don't have to have your picture taken on the website, but, I would like everybody to give us, a bit of a background so we can put it on the website so the voters know who you are. So if you don't
Not
want,
even do a picture.
if you don't want to be photographed, you can provide me with a photograph.
Yeah.
Prepared.
Makeup and not a Santa sweater.
I thought I'd be...
Like I woke up from my nap and sprinted in here.
Although I
look good.
I do appreciate Mr. Mayor's attempt.
Thank you. Council comments, unless we have any further departments. Mr. Clark?
None for me.
Ms. Powell?
I just have a question, Mike. I was going through my emails, I'm trying to find, you said the master plan, the preliminary, in one of our emails.
Yes.
So, is it here?
It's on the front page of the city's website.
Okay,
It'll be in the upper right-hand corner.
okay, thanks. Otherwise, happy Christmas, everybody, and careful driving. Hope you have a nice weekend with your wife and your pups.
I certainly shall try.
Ms. Conlon?
I would just like to say that the city clerk, I came to her with some very challenging questions that people had asked me about during the whole recount process. I don't know if any of you got this, about like what is the cost of the voting machine and how many voting machines are you supposed to have and how do you know if they're working and so on, right? I mean, and I had people want to know if they're plugged into the internet, and, right? And I asked her some very specific questions, and she came back with a very detailed, specific, articulate, wonderful response that I am able to pass on to people. And, please share with, I said to her I will share it widely. So thank you for giving me those tools to be able to share with our community. And if any of you else are getting asked that, you should ask our clerk, because she has it all prepared in a very beautiful little package of exactly what all the updated things are so that you can share them with constituents.
Cool.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rose?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. Made it through this year, even though it's been short for me. Appreciate everything that's going on, and I'd just like to remind us all that whenever we take an action, there's a reaction. What made me start thinking about this was the idea that they're going to open up the drain underneath the path. The drain underneath Fifth Street has a tendency to back up. We're going to increase the flow from the trail to Fifth Street, from Fifth Street to Cherry Street. Cherry Street can only handle so much pressure.
Cherry's good, Cherry is the worst one of the two.
Cherry is the worst one, yes. So it's just a matter of, now we have done it, what cause or effect is it going to have downstream? Okay, which started me thinking about anything we do, there's downstream. So, okay.
Absolutely. Cause and effect. Thank you,
Impact
Mr. Hopkins.
Yep, no, it's already been noted that we know that things are, don't say that's gonna be changed too. But like that bridge needs to be redone.
Two.
Cause there's spots where you can walk in it and almost step through it. But, Merry Christmas everybody and Happy New Year, if we don't see you before,
Thank you.
see you next year.
Mrs. Hopkins.
No,
Nixon.
no.
You have nothing to say, great. I know if I said that, you
I
would have no
appreciated
comment.
your emphatic response.
Happy holidays and happy Festivus, and may the airing of grievances go well for everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. We're trying to get out of here in 20 minutes.
I'm done.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone here coming tonight and have a Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year, which we are having. I'd like to thank all the city staff for all their hard work this year, and we're moving a lot of great things and going in great directions, and great things are happening. And I thank you, the board, for appointing me as mayor. And with that, I would remind them that we have evals coming up for the manager. I would need them. And,
We're not giving them to you, right?
no,
Okay.
we need to get them done. I
Yeah.
procrastinate on mine. And any other comments? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good evening.